Lauren Sanchez just said she wants Jeff Bezos' baby at 56. Last week, a spokesperson for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez had to make an emergency call to the New York Times. Not about a lawsuit, not about a business deal gone wrong, not about a scandal, at least not in the traditional sense. The call was damage control, and it was about something Lauren had said in an interview, something she said with a smile, something that made the internet completely lose its mind within hours. Here is what happened. Lauren Sanchez sat down with the New York Times and told the reporter she would have another baby tomorrow. Tomorrow. Her exact words, she is 56 years old. Jeff Bezos is 62, and according to a source close to the couple, Jeff ate it up and loved it. The spokesperson had to call the paper back to clarify that Lauren is not actually pregnant. That is how fast this spiraled. She said it with what the reporter described as a coy smile. Said it both in jest, but seriously, to show the love she has for him. And everybody watching had the same question. Who is this actually for? Because nobody in that room was thinking about MacKenzie Scott. MacKenzie Scott raised 4 children with Jeff Bezos over 25 years. She was there for the sleepless nights, the school runs, the family breakfast Jeff insisted on before he stopped insisting on them, and she did all of it without ever sitting down for a magazine interview to announce how desperately she wanted to do it. She just did it. But this is not a story about who is a better mother. This is a story about a woman who will say anything to keep the cameras pointed at her, and a man who keeps falling for it. To understand how we got here, you have to remember how this all started. In December 2016, Lauren's then-husband Patrick Whitesell brought her to an Apple party. Patrick was a top-tier Hollywood talent agent, founding partner of Endeavor, the kind of man who represented Matt Damon and Christian Bale. And at that party, Patrick personally introduced his wife to Jeff Bezos. He brought her right up to him, smiled, made the introduction himself. That handshake would eventually cost Patrick his marriage, cost MacKenzie her family, and cost Jeff $38 billion. 2 years later, Jeff hired Lauren's company Black Ops Aviation to film aerial footage for Blue Origin. That is when they reconnected, both married, both with children. By January 2019, the National Enquirer had their text messages, their photos, everything. Jeff and MacKenzie announced their separation, and within 48 hours, he confirmed the relationship with Lauren. Patrick Whitesell was reportedly blindsided. Think about that for a second. This man spent decades building one of the most powerful agencies in Hollywood. He sat across the table from studio heads and A-list actors every single day. He had seen every kind of betrayal that industry could produce, and he never saw this one coming. People who knew him said he was humiliated, not just heartbroken. Humiliated, because everyone in Hollywood knew before he did. The whispers had been going around for months, and Patrick was the last person to hear them. The man who made the introduction lost his wife because of it. You truly cannot make this stuff up. Patrick and Lauren filed for divorce simultaneously. It was finalized by October 2019. But the part that gets lost in the tabloid noise is important. Lauren already had 3 children with 2 different men before any of this happened. Her oldest son, Nico, who is now 25, is from her relationship with NFL player Tony Gonzalez. That relationship ended in 2002. Her son, Evan, 19, and her daughter, Ella, 18, are from her marriage to Patrick Whitesell. Jeff has 4 children with MacKenzie. Between the 2 of them, they already have 7 children from previous relationships. And now she is talking about having another one, at 56. Not adopting, not fostering, not even saying she wants to be more present for the 7 children who already exist. A brand new baby from scratch. The interview was supposed to be about Lauren stepping into her role as a public figure. The New York Times piece covered her fashion choices, her philanthropy efforts, her aviation company, but the only thing anyone remembers from that interview is the baby quote. And that tells you everything about how the public sees Lauren Sanchez right now. She cannot control the narrative because the narrative has already been written for her. Every time she tries to rebrand, something she says pulls the conversation right back to where it started. I would have another one tomorrow. Tomorrow. I would have a baby tomorrow. That is not something you say casually in the New York Times. That is a woman performing devotion for an audience, and the audience is not buying it. Reddit lit up within hours. One comment said, "Nothing like turning 70 at their grade 8 graduation." Another said, "Let us pay someone to have a kid for us so we can roll our 75 and 81-year-old asses up to our sad kids' high school graduation." The tone was not gentle. The tone was furious. And it was not just strangers on the internet being cruel for no reason. These were parents, grandparents, people who actually raised children. They were furious because they understood what this was really about. And then came the fertility reports. Hollywood insider Rob Shooter reported that Jeff and Lauren are actively pursuing fertility options, that they are speaking to specialists, funding research, and exploring what he called experimental fertility treatments. Sources told reporters they are ready to spend millions, that the budget for this is, and this is a direct quote, completely budgetless for a baby. Meanwhile, there are women in this country rationing their insulin because they cannot afford a copay. There are families skipping meals so their kids can eat, and Jeff Bezos is writing blank checks to fertility clinics because his wife said something cute in an interview. They can afford the best doctors in the world, private labs, experimental treatments that are not available to anyone else. A 56-year-old woman and a 62-year-old man are reportedly throwing unlimited money at the possibility of having a biological child together, and nobody around them is saying what everyone outside of their bubble is thinking. Just because you can does not mean you should. When that child graduates high school, Jeff Bezos will be 80, Lauren will be 74. And that is if everything goes according to plan, if the treatments work, if the pregnancy takes, if the specialists can deliver what billions of dollars are asking them to deliver. This is a couple who already has 7 children between them. 7. And they are chasing an 8th because Lauren said she would have one tomorrow with a smile designed for a camera lens. But here's the part that really tells you where Jeff Bezos is right now. Days after the baby comments went public, he was photographed on vacation looking, according to the Irish Star, concerned. He looked concerned. Not like a man who just heard his wife say she wants his baby. He looked like someone doing math in his head. The kind of expression that cameras catch when someone forgets they are being watched. And that photograph tells you more than any spokesperson statement ever could, because a man who truly loved it would not look like that. 4 days later on a beach, he would be glowing. He would be holding her hand. He would look like a man with good news. Instead, he looked like a man carrying a weight he did not ask for. The baby comment did not happen in a vacuum. It happened less than a year after their Venice wedding, which became one of the most talked about events of 2025, and not because anyone was happy for them. 3 days of celebrations at the Basilica of San Giorgio Maggiore, between 200 and 250 guests. Oprah was there, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, Bill Gates, even Ivanka Trump. The estimated cost was somewhere between $46 and $56 million. Locals in Venice protested the disruption. Amazon employees who had been laid off watched their former CEO throw a party that cost more than most people will earn in a lifetime. I mean, really. Lauren wore a custom Dolce & Gabbana dress that took a year and a half to make. 180 silk buttons. Her second dress was inspired by the 1946 film Gilda. Her third outfit was an Oscar de la Renta cocktail dress, covered in 175,000 crystals. This was not a wedding. This was a woman announcing her arrival, and now, less than 10 months later, she is announcing something else. A baby. The pattern is impossible to miss. Every few months, Lauren Sanchez drops a headline so loud that it drowns out everything else. The problem is that the headlines keep getting louder, and the public keeps getting angrier. Remember January 2025? The inauguration. Lauren showed up in a white Alexander McQueen pantsuit with a plunging neckline and a white lace bra that was visible to everyone in the room. She was seated directly behind Donald Trump. Every camera in America caught it. Mark Zuckerberg, who was sitting right next to her, was caught on camera appearing to glance at her chest. That clip went everywhere. Millions of people saw it. At a presidential inauguration, who does that? The backlash was immediate and brutal. Lauren later told the New York Times she was super proud of that look. But then she added something interesting. She said, "I get it, no lace at the White House." She explained that she had dressed for an outdoor event and was not prepared for the ceremony moving indoors. But what people actually heard was different. She wore a lace bra to a presidential inauguration, got caught, got dragged, and then tried to spin it as a wardrobe miscalculation. Nobody believed her. Because by that point, people had already made up their minds about who Lauren Sanchez is. She is the woman who dresses for the camera, not the occasion. And now that same woman is telling the New York Times she wants a baby, with a coy smile, in front of a reporter. Think about the pattern. The inauguration outfit was for the cameras. The Venice wedding was for the cameras. The Met Gala sponsorship was for the cameras. And this baby comment? It was not for Jeff. It was for the cameras. Everything Lauren Sanchez does is a performance, and the audience is exhausted. And it is only getting worse. Reports say the couple may face ridicule at the upcoming 2026 Met Gala, which they are co-sponsoring, and designers have reportedly declined to dress her because of the political baggage that comes with being married to Jeff Bezos right now. Now compare all of that to MacKenzie Scott. Just for a second, because the contrast is what makes this story so painful. MacKenzie raised 4 children with Jeff Bezos. She was there in the garage when Amazon was just an idea and a laptop. She drove the moving van across the country. She packed the boxes. She helped build what became one of the largest companies in history while being a mother, a wife, and a novelist. She just showed up every single day for 25 years. And when Jeff left her for Lauren Sanchez, MacKenzie did not do a single interview about it. She did not perform her pain for an audience. She did not sit down with the New York Times and talk about how much she loved being a mother to get sympathy clicks. She just kept being a mother. That silence was not weakness. It was the loudest statement she could have made. Since the divorce, MacKenzie has donated more than $26 billion to over 2,700 nonprofit organizations. She gives to women's shelters, education programs, mental health services. She does it quietly, without press conferences or morning show appearances. She lets the organizations announce her gifts instead of announcing them herself. And that is what follows Lauren everywhere. That comparison, she cannot escape it. One woman showed up after the money and wants the world to know she would have a baby tomorrow. The other woman showed up before the money existed, raised 4 children without fanfare, and has given away more than most countries produce in a year. One woman is performing motherhood in an interview. The other one actually did it. You have to wonder if anyone in Lauren's life has the courage to tell her the truth, because she is surrounded by people who are paid to say yes. Stylists, publicists, assistants, managers, not one of them pulled her aside before that interview and said, maybe don't mention the baby thing. That the baby comment did not make people think she was devoted. It made people think she was desperate. Desperate to prove that this marriage is real, that this love is real, that she is more than a woman who left her husband for a richer man and is now putting on a show for the rest of us. Because when you are truly happy, you do not need to announce it in the New York Times. You just live it. But here is what gets me about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos spent his whole career telling people to think long-term. Don't worry about next quarter. Think about the next decade. That was his whole thing. And look at what he is doing now. In his personal life, he keeps making the shortest-sighted decisions imaginable. He left a 25-year marriage for a woman who shooed him away from her photo op at the Vanity Fair Oscars party. He married her without a prenup that matched his trust in MacKenzie, because he did not trust Lauren the same way. And now he is reportedly spending unlimited money on fertility treatments because his 56-year-old wife told a newspaper she wants a baby and he loved it. That is not long-term thinking. I am sorry, but that is a man who has completely lost the plot. MacKenzie Scott has never said a word about any of this. Not the affair, not the wedding, not the inauguration outfit, not the Met Gala, and certainly not the baby comments. She has never needed to, because every time Lauren Sanchez gives an interview, every time she drops a headline, every time she performs another act of devotion for the cameras, she proves exactly what MacKenzie always knew about Jeff Bezos. He wanted to be seen, not loved, not respected, seen. And Lauren gives him exactly that. Camera after camera, headline after headline, performance after performance. The baby comment was just the latest one. Tomorrow, there will be another. And the day after that, another. Because Lauren Sanchez does not know how to stop. And Jeff Bezos does not know how to tell her to. The saddest part of this whole thing is the children. 7 kids between them who are watching their parents become a punchline. Nico is 25. Evan is 19. Ella is 18. Jeff's 4 children with MacKenzie are old enough to read every headline and see every meme. These are not toddlers who can be shielded from what is happening. They are young adults watching their father's wife tell a national newspaper she wants another baby, while the internet calls her delusional. That is what they are living with. And if that 8th child ever does arrive, they will grow up surrounded by more money than any human could spend in 100 lifetimes, but also by a story that will follow them from their first Google search to their last. MacKenzie did not have to say a word. She never does. Lauren keeps saying it for her. If you want to see how Jeff Bezos went from the smartest man in business to the most talked about husband in America, that story is waiting for you right here. Click it now.